What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Live Game, episode 112. This is the average man's perspective on football. I'm your co-host, Marcus. Joining me on the panel ladies. Herman, say what up, Herman.
Hey.
Next up, we got Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Thank you for joining us.
You'll be playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
They'll be playing with me.
Yeah?
I made the playoffs last year. They didn't. It's different.
Next up, we got Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
And me, I'm 56 years old. Damn.
I'm sorry.
Before we get started tonight, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Live Game. We're also on Twitter at The Live Game 3, and on Instagram at The Official Delay of Game. Week 2 is in the books. We had a good week, some injuries, some good games, some blowouts. Mark is hosting the show tonight. Go ahead and start us off, Mark.
Thank you, Marcus. We're going to talk about some NFL news, get into some hot topics, review our picks from last week, and then the following games that's coming up for next week, and then our final thoughts we're going to wrap it up with. So starting out with the NFL news, I'll throw it back to you, Marcus. What you got for the NFL news?
The 49ers quarterback Trey Lance is done for the year after suffering a broken ankle during the first quarter of the 49ers' 27-7 win over the Seahawks. The 49ers and Lance announced Monday that Lance had successful surgery on his injured right ankle. Jimmy Garoppolo takes over as San Francisco's starter. Rookie Brock Purdy is the backup.
So after all, it seems like it was a smart move to keeping Jimmy G there, huh?
Yeah,
It was definitely a smart move.
Really nasty, real nasty injury.
Just real quick, I know we don't discuss, but you saw what his contract numbers are looking like now. So if he plays 25% of a game, takes 25% of the snaps in a game, he gets $250,000, I think it is, and then if they win the game, he gets another $100,000. So this dude's gonna be making extra $350,000 per game that they win, and he takes he takes the snap. That's crazy.
Sound like a good situation to me.
I'd like to have that deal.
I wouldn't be mad at all.
Right.
All right. So next news, we're gonna give it to Herman. Herman, what's the next news you got?
All right. So 6-time All-Pro offensive lineman Joe Thomas, shutdown cornerback Darrelle Revis, and speedy pass rusher Dwight Freeney headlined the list of 9 first-year eligible players picked among the 129 nominees for the 2023 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, those first two names are definitely going to be first ballot Hall of Fame. There's no question.
I agree. I mean, Freeney was a beast. I think he should get in there also. But yeah, definitely with Joe Thomas and Revis, their first time Hall of Famers for sure.
Yeah.
All right, the third news item is going to be Brian. Brian, take it away.
All right. With the loss of Chris Godwin to a hamstring, Julio Jones to a knee, and Mike Evans for suspension, the Buccaneers signed 10-year veteran Cole Beasley to the practice squad. Their plan is to elevate Beasley to the 53 roster as soon as possible.
Did y'all think Cole Beasley was still around?
Yeah, I knew he was still around.
I know he played last year, didn't he?
If you're a Cowboys fan, you knew he was still around.
He was in Buffalo last year.
He was in Buffalo, yeah. He had a good season too last year too.
He did. He did.
Only reason they re-signed him is because all that nonsense he was talking about COVID and all that vaccination.
Yeah, he was against the COVID vaccination. Yeah.
Dad, we haven't had to say that all year long.
All right, so I'll wrap up the last story. Did Bruce Arians get Mike Evans suspended? Prior to the fight between Evans and Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore, Arians was seen on the sideline having a verbal altercation with Lattimore. Not long after that, it was when the verbal spat with Brady and Lattimore started. There's another video where it appears that Aries tells Evans, quote, hey, Mike, get out there. And Evans attacked Lattimore. He was also on the sidelines too, beefing with the refs. He was arguing with the refs. But
Yeah,
I mean, it is. Ain't he? Don't he supposed to be upstairs somewhere?
he's
What-
absolutely supposed to be upstairs. There's
He's
no
a consultant.
reason for him to be
He's
on the
a consultant.
sideline. Exactly. There's no reason for him to be on the sideline at all.
But the
But
excuse
y'all,
they gave was
if-
is
if
that
the owner-
the Saints didn't have any room for him in one of their booths or something like that. It was something crazy.
That's crazy.
If
I
an
just
owner
thought it
can
was.
go
I
to the
just thought it was odd
sideline,
when I
there's
saw
no rules. There's no rules about that. Yeah, technically, he should have been off the sideline, but there's really no rules about that. I don't believe.
Yeah, but when you're instigating and arguing with players, there's a problem.
Oh, definitely.
I don't think. But see, I don't think it's. I mean, it's obvious that Mike Evans and Lattimore had beef for years.
They did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't think. I don't
but-
think. I don't
but
think
he
Aaron
was
do
the-
much instigation.
I know, but he knew what to do. That's what my thing is. He's an adult. He shouldn't be telling Evans to
But
go
Mike
in.
Evans is an adult too.
Yeah, but now
Yeah, he
you
doesn't
got
have to
you
do
got
it.
your best receiver out, and you're the consultant for the team, and you just got your best receiver suspended for a game.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was definitely a dumb and selfish move.
If
on
he
Mike
told
Evans'
him to do it for sure, that's he throwing more fuel on the fire. He's
Right.
throwing it on there.
Right. You're supposed to be the adult, calming the situations down, not instigating.
But have y'all seen the footage
Alleged.
of the past fights? I don't think he needed any. I don't think he
Yeah,
needed.
he didn't have
really
any
didn't.
motivation.
He really did.
But-
But here's the deal, Marcus. The last time he's been suspended was like what 2017.
It's been a
So
couple
he's
years.
been able to. They play each other 2 times a year since then. He's been able to control himself for that point.
They just go ahead instead of what's that fight they had recently? Was it the two running backs?
Adrian
Uh,
Peterson,
Adrian Peterson.
and Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, they need to go ahead and put
That's a
Mike
good
Evans
idea.
in.
Let him settle in
And
the
let,
ring.
let,
Whoa,
let,
whoa,
let
whoa!
them
They
do it.
fought.
You didn't see that video?
No,
We put that in the group chat. We put that in the group chat. Yeah, Adrian Peterson got knocked out.
Who did?
Adrian Peterson got knocked
You're
out.
lying.
No,
I thought, man, you go back and look in the.
You
in
ain't
the
seen
group
it?
chat.
It was in the group chat.
No.
They fought in the
That video
boxing ring.
Brian
that video was all over
clearly
Twitter.
got knocked out. It ain't.
Wow.
He got Friday knocked out.
Yeah.
Mm,
You got knocked.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So they should let Mike Evans and Lattimore do that.
Absolutely. I'll sign up for that one.
I want to see that fight.
So going right into our hot topic, since we're talking about this Lattimore and Mike Evans fight, do you guys believe the fight between the Bucks and the Saints warranted Mike Evans being suspended for 1 game? Brian, I'll let you start that off.
Yeah, I definitely believe that it was definitely warranted. You can't be on the sideline, headed to the sideline, come running all the way around, trying to start a fight with. Well, he should have stayed. He should have stayed where he was headed. He shouldn't have came back on the field. And you can't attack a player like that and expect there not to be repercussions. Now, Lattimore did throw a punch to Brady or no,
No, not
Forte.
Brady.
to
Fournette.
Leonard Fournette, because Leonard
Yeah,
Fournette
Fournette.
came over to trying to protect Brady as well.
Mhm.
And it was bad, but I didn't think it was. I thought it was more like in the flow of the game. The most is high, but with Evans coming from the sidelines running like that, that's just not called for. You don't do that. You let the other players on the field handle that situation. So the 1 game suspension was definitely warranted, and it was upheld today.
Marcus?
I actually probably feel like he should have got more than one game.
Yeah.
This wasn't his first time happening, and like you said, Brian, he ran already from the sideline. I just feel like if you're going to do all that, then he should. Then Lattimore shouldn't be able to get up. If you're going to go ahead and get suspended and probably cost your team a game the following week, hurting your team like that, then you should do some. Make sure he don't get back up because Lattimore wasn't affected at all, and there was no punishment for Lattimore at all, was there?
No,
He's
just he got
supposedly
ejected from the
fine.
game,
You got it for the
Yeah.
game.
I think
Okay,
he's
yeah.
getting fined. for
which
it, right?
did ultimately hurt the Saints.
Yeah,
But after
but-
he got out, they got a little bit of momentum on offense and was able to get that touchdown.
But if you're gonna do all that, you should at least put a little bit of her on Lattimore. So it was all for nothing. It was dumb. It was stupid. And to be honest, he should have had more games than that because this wasn't his first time doing that. So I think 1 game suspension wasn't enough.
Yeah, I'm agree with you guys on it. And Brian, you was on point where you was already headed to the sidelines. There's no need for you to come running back into the field to initiate anything. So yeah, you deserved it. You deserved to get it. And like I said, not only hurting his team, he hurt his fantasy owners too. I got him on my daggone squad, and that didn't help me at all. Even though I still won my game, but it still don't help me going into the next couple of weeks. So I'm not.
We'll
very
need to talk
happy
about
with
that, Mark.
I'm not very happy about that. But yeah, I think it was warranted. I think he deserved to get suspended for it. Herman, what you think?
Somebody 0-2 in fantasy, I see.
No,
Shut up.
he didn't deserve to get suspended for this.
What?
Come on. First of all, let me tell you why. Let me tell you this, okay?
Hold on. Before you say it, Herman always goes against the rest of it. I think he just waits to see what we're going to say.
Hey,
And he
Marcus,
just
no,
goes
I-
against it.
I-
Hey, no. That Mark decided who wins and where.
Yeah, so exactly. So no, he didn't deserve to get suspended. Okay, he never threw a punch. He wasn't all the way on the sideline.
He threw a punch.
No, he didn't. He pushed him down. He didn't throw no punches.
He pushed him
pushed
far
him
down, though. That's
Yeah,
a
'cause he had a
physical
run-
attack.
I think we need to
Everyone
rewatch
saw
that
that.
video. He was throwing
No,
a punch.
he never threw a punch. They said there was no.
Okay,
punches
he
thrown.
ran to him
and
with
shoved him.
aggressiveness.
It's not his fault that he felt like that Lattimore felt like a little bitch. Okay, so can I say that?
It's a family
Okay.
show. It's a family show.
All right.
No,
So
you
secondly, he's not a. The NFL didn't even look at him as a repeat offender because they said that he hadn't gotten. It had been like 19 months, I think, or something like that, since he had an issue previously. So they didn't even look at him as a repeat offender.
Defended.
Third, Myles Garrett got 6 games for swinging helmets at a mug. All he did was shove the guy to the ground.
This is why he only got one game.
He shouldn't have got one game. It should have just been a fine. And third and fourth, that's Tom Brady, the GOAT. You telling me he's not supposed to protect his quarterback? I wouldn't want none of y'all as my wide
Forte.
receiver if I was the GOAT, because y'all obviously just would have went to the sidelines and let me get my ass. Sorry.
Look, if
Let
you ain't
me mad
Forte
mad
was on
enough,
my face.
shut
Forte
your
was
mouth,
already out
Tom
there.
Brady. Don't be talking stuff on the
Nah,
field all
I'm
the
Tom
time.
Brady. I'm the GOAT.
Forte was already out there.
No,
Yeah,
but there was
Forte
another
was
Saint,
out
there was
there.
another Saint there, and Fournette had already got knocked back. So and if y'all noticed, they said that there was video of Evans talking to the refs, and he told the refs, "That's Tom Brady. What am I supposed to do? You protect the GOAT." So no, he shouldn't have got suspended. And then there's another thing is John Runyon is the one who gave him the 1-game suspension. Guess who John Runyon's son plays for? Oh, the Green Bay Packers. Guess who the Bucs play next week? Oh, the Green Bay Packers. Look, come on now, NFL. You gotta at least look like you're above water on this one. So
So
you
you saying
know,
this- so you're saying
I
this
thought
conspiracy is
Thrash.
what
I
you're
thought
saying.
I thought the wide receiver overseer Thrash was overseeing that.
no, that was John Runyon.
You sure I can swear?
John Runyon did the original suspension, and then
Thrash heard the
yeah,
appeal?
he heard the
Okay.
appeal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you can't really put it on Runyon because Thrash heard the appeal and he agreed.
and he
with it.
wasn't going to overturn Runyon
Why not?
because he wasn't.
Well, I mean,
'Cause-
apparently in
because
your
Runyon
eyes
said,
it was
hey,
obvious that he
'cause
should
he's-
be able
'cause
to. He should be able to run from one side of the field where he's off to
He
get in an
wasn't- he wasn't on
altercation
one
with a
side of
bunch
the
with a
field.
bunch of teams.
He was
when you
literally
need to
about
break it up.
3 yards away.
He
and
was
he
on the
protected-
sideline.
He was not
He
on
was-
the sideline. Go back and watch the film. He wasn't
He
even
was on the
line.
sideline.
He was a
He was
step
still
away
talking
from the
to the
sideline.
coach.
He was
He
one
was
step
Talking
away.
was
to
in
he
the
was talking
green.
to Arians, and Arians said, "Get in there."
He was in the green. He wasn't on the sideline.
He was on the
So,
sideline.
so
He did
Herman, if I'm
exactly
hearing
what
it
he was supposed to
correctly,
do.
you're saying that it's possibly there was a conspiracy to keep Mike Evans out of the game against the Green Bay Packers because of John Runyon
All I'm saying
decision on
is,
this whole situation.
why didn't John Runyon recuse himself? Because there's obviously a conflict of interest. I don't care what nobody says.
He didn't have to recuse himself because there's an appeal process.
No, he should have recused himself.
There's an appeal process. It was processed and it was denied.
And you know what this goes back to, though, too, Brian? It goes back to
What?
what you said. They need to have a set standard of like, if you do this, you're getting suspended. Not somebody gets to look and say, I think you should do. Like, if you did this, you get suspended. If you was on the sideline, you run off during the fight, you get suspended. Like the NBA does.
Yeah,
If you-
anybody off the bench.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
no,
you were
no,
outside the
yeah.
numbers and a
Yeah.
fight broke out, or you weren't in on that play or something, they should have some standards set. And that way you can say, these are the rules. It's not a judgment call. These are the rules. And you broke the rules that we put in place. And they wouldn't have these controversial situations going on. So, but I don't think he should have got suspended.
Interesting. Well, that's your take on that one. The next hot topic we have is which former Alabama quarterback impressed you the most the past week? Was it Jalen Hurts or Tua Tagovailoa? Marcus, I'll let you start this one out.
I'm proud of you for saying that, right? Because I couldn't. There's no way I was gonna get that out. I'm gonna say both of them was equally impressive, but I'm more impressed by the teams around them. Both of them have two very good wide receivers, and it's apparent that I don't pay enough attention in the offseason because Miami seems to be very good, and I had them with a Total record, and the Eagles seem to be very good, and I also predicted them to have a Total record. I mean, if you want to say one was impressive, it would have to be Tua. Even though it seemed like Baltimore's defense just let a couple of plays slide in there. That I think the last touchdown by what's Cheetah, he was wide open. There wasn't even anybody around him. Baltimore's defense
had single man coverage on him.
Yeah, you don't do that to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, you don't do that to Tyreek Hill. So some of that's attributed to Baltimore's defense. I don't think it's going to happen often this season, but that was a very impressive game. Tua had. I think people were equally in doubt of both of them, but I think people were more in doubt of Tua. And you got to give some props to Miami's new coach, even though he looks like a serial killer. He looks like a very young serial killer. He's seen the. It goes to show you that when you bring a new coach in there, your quarterback's play can change. It's much like when McVay went to the Rams, and Goff his play changed dramatically once McVay put his offense in there. So I'm gonna say I'm equally impressed by both, but I'm gonna have to go with Tua because I feel like people were doubting him more than they were Hurts, even though both were being equally doubted. But I just feel like Tua was being doubted even more. So I'm gonna go with Tua.
Herman, what you think?
Yeah, I mean they both were impressive this weekend, but I'm going with Tua. First of all, because I hate the Eagles. Secondly, to come back in the NFL, they were down 21.
Yeah, they were down a lot. Yeah,
they were down to come back in the NFL like that in that type of impressive fashion is no small feat. Baltimore's defense, they did have a letdown, but coming back from that deep and he remained poised, calm. And like Marcus said, there's definitely been way more doubt around Tua than there has been around Jalen Hurts. Every time they talk about Tua, it was, well, we don't know if Miami sold on him or whatever. But obviously Miami showed that they are sold on him because they went out there and they got the talent to put around him, and they're taking advantage of that talent. So for me, it was definitely Tua's performance.
I think Miami has the fastest team out there.
They might have
on
offense. Yeah.
Because they got Mostert on that roster. And he said he's faster than all of them.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brian, what you think about it?
I hate to say this. I really, really, really hate to say this. But it's not Tua. It's not Tua. And the reason why it's Jalen or whatever his name is.
It's Jalen.
It's because both games that the Eagles played this week, they were in control of that game basically the whole time. That last game, there was really no reason for the Ravens to lose that game. The Miami said they went into like F it mode. They were calling F it plays. Like they knew they were going to lose, so F it, let's try it to see if it works. And if you watch like both of those like bombs to Tyreek Hill, they were both underthrown. They were not.
They definitely were.
He had to slow down on both of those plays to catch the ball. It wasn't over the top, nice pretty pass where he could just run underneath it. When you watch Jalen play on against Minnesota, man, I mean he had full control. He was like 11 for 11 at one point in time in that game. And as badly as he played last year, and as much of a leap as he made this year, I think it's difficult to say that he's not the better quarterback between the two.
But it's easy to play from. First of all, it's easier to play when you got a lead, and when your defense is doing what their defense was doing to Miami. I mean to Minnesota. I mean, to me, it's a little bit easier. Like we're not. I guess you're giving the overall between the two, and that could be true that Hurts is better. But right, I just think that Tua. I think the reason I said Tua, I think he had a bigger performance this weekend. Just this weekend.
See, I guess the why I like disagree is because he didn't. All he did was throw a bomb as hard as he could, twice. I mean, they were down because he wasn't being effective on offense. And they got Waddle.
But the game winner to Waddle was the game winner to Waddle was a dart.
Yeah. But that's my thing. Is like the game should have been competitive the whole time. They should have never been down that much with that much offensive firepower that you had. It just seemed easier to me for Tua to try to come back by just throwing it up than the way. I mean, Jalen, did you see that run he did to get that one touchdown?
Yeah, that was a great run.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, they just broke the back of Minnesota on that play. That dude was effective. He actually looked like an NFL quarterback to me that game.
Oh, stop it, please!
I know.
Next.
I know. God, I want to vomit.
I'm gonna have to jump on Brian's back on this one. I'm gonna agree with Jalen Hurts, to be honest with you. And through Jalen Hurts' college career and all. He had to play second fiddle to Tua. He was in Alabama from 2016 to 18, and he lost a starting job when Tua was a freshman. And they benched him in a championship game. He had to play back from that. Not only did he get drafted the second round and Tua get drafted the first round, that was another notch against him. But I think, much like Brian said, Hurts had a lot of pretty passes that night. Last year seemed like he had a problem finding an open receiver. He didn't have a problem last two games of finding an open receiver. Of course, it helps to having A.J. Brown and having offensive line beefed up. But yeah, I think Jalen did a little bit more to me than what Tua did. Much so because I can see the progression with Hurts more so than I did with Tua. Tua does have some talents around him, but as you stated before, you just have to throw the ball in the area of Tyreek Hill and he can catch it. The verdict is still out for me for Tua. But I tell you what, the next week is going to be a real test for Miami. They play the Bills, so we're going to see what's up with them.
That's going to be a game of the week right there.
We're going to find out real fast.
So, side note. All three of the starting quarterbacks that played for Miami and won championships won this week. Hurts
for Miami
Tua,
or Alabama?
I'm sorry, Alabama.
Okay.
Hurts, Tua, and Matt Jones. So, there was a point in one time.
Who did Matt Jones beat, Marcus?
Who did they play? Oh, see, trying to be funny. They beat Pittsburgh. There was a time when even they were winning. Alabama was dominating college football. They weren't known for putting quarterbacks into the league, but apparently that's changed because, like I said, all three won this week. So,
So that ends our hot topics for the week. Now we can get into the games from last week. This is how we did. Starting off the first game, the LA Chargers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chargers rallied past I'm sorry. Let me start this over again. The Chiefs rallied over the Chargers 27-24 in an early AFC West showdown. Kansas City cornerback Jalen Watson runs back an interception back for a touchdown during the second half of the game. And at the early is right at the goal line. I didn't know you long wolfed this one, Brian.
Just keep talking, Mark.
It was at the goal line. The game was the first. This game was the first game, but in the $3 billion 11-year deal between NFL and Amazon Prime to exclusively stream Thursday night games. Jeff Bezos and Roger Goodell were both on the sidelines in this game. So I'll let you start this one off, Herman. Who did you have in this game?
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs in this one, and I got this one right. They did have to come. It was a good game. They had to come. They had to, that game saving pick was crucial. But there was a couple of controversial calls on whether there was a pick earlier in the game. Some things that swung the momentum. The one thing I noticed though is that the Chargers they need to get a run game going. Herbert threw 48 times compared to Mahomes' 35 attempts. I think if you get a run game going, usually your game plan against the Chiefs is to get the run game going, control the clock, try to win the game. It was a good game. It's definitely we're going to be seeing a lot of competitive games like this in the AFC West, in the future. But I did pick the Chiefs and got it right.
Marcus, who'd you have?
Yeah, I also picked the Chiefs. This was a pretty good game. It wasn't as high scoring as I thought it was going to be. Like you said, there's some key turnovers. The Chargers were actually winning this going into the half, and it was a good game. I picked the Chiefs, and the Chiefs won.
Yeah, in this game, I took the Chiefs on it. As far as the stats were concerned, Justin Herbert was 33 for 48 for 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Austin Eckert was 14 carries for 39 yards. Mike Williams, 8 catches, 113 yards, and 1 touchdown. For the Chiefs, switch over. Patrick Mahomes was 24 for 35 for 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 8 carries for 74 yards. And Travis Kelce, 5 catches for 51 yards. In this game, man, I thought that they played. Mahomes came back the second half a change. He played a little differently. He played a little bit more aggressively. That interception was not on Herbert at all. If you look at the tight end, Gerald Everett, he was gassed out towards the end of that drive. He should have been out. He was motioning.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And then when he threw the pass, he didn't miss Everett. Everett was not physically able to run in that area. So basically that was it. But what's the surprising stats in this game is Jerick McKinnon, Justin Watson, and Jalen Watson were the 3 touchdown makers for Kansas City. If you'd have told me that coming to this game, I'd have said you crazy. None of the big names you would think would be the touchdown scorers in this particular game. But Kansas City, they did it. So I took Kansas City.
And also, if you notice, Kansas City ran a lot. I was surprised how much they ran. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he ran a lot.
Yards.
Hey man, didn't you talk already? Did you talk already?
Don't be. Your time is coming, Brian. Your time is coming.
Apparently, y'all take it all day. We get off at 9.
Your hat is so funny. Go ahead, Brian. Who did you choose in this game?
Unfortunately, I did have faith in the Chargers. And watching that game, 401 total yards, held time of possession, 33 minutes and 27 seconds. And the Chiefs only had 319 yards in 26 minutes and 23 seconds. And again, this game pretty much came down to that flawed, that interception, that pick 6. For that, I think that was their rookie corner that they had just gotten. That ran that back. Mm-hmm. And then for the heart of the Chargers quarterback in that game when he got hurt, came back. It was one play I know y'all saw. It was like 3rd down.
Yeah.
Or was it 2nd down? Might have been second down. But he clearly could have ran for a 1st down. Did not, went and just threw the ball to the ground, and I was like, "Oh, this game is over." Not only is Herbert playing this, but he's also a fantasy quarterback. So I'm not gonna get no points, and this dude is hurt. But then he came back the next play.
Next play.
A bullet to get him down in range, get a 1st down, and then finally get the touchdown. So that guy has a lot of heart. Apparently, he has torn cartilage in his ribs, which is like a broken rib, he's saying, but I guess worse. So right now he's day to day with pain tolerance, but it was a great game. The Chiefs did do well. I still think that the Chargers were the better team, but when it all comes down to it, it's about execution. They didn't execute on one play and it bit them in the ass. So I picked the Chiefs. I'm sorry, I did not pick the Chiefs. I picked the Chargers and I picked it wrong.
Next time you got to wear the hat, you're gonna have to find a different background because we.
I know we all gonna
need
have to
see
look
it
because
clearly.
because everybody, it's not. We're gonna have to fix this.
All right.
I wanted
Moving
this
on
hat.
to the next
Hey,
game.
Mark, I wanted this hat to look nice. Go ahead.
You put a Cowboys hat on.
No,
Moving on to the next game, we have
He must have long with that.
the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys won it 20-17. Meyer kick lifted. The Cooper Kupp led Cowboys to a
Cooper
20-17. Cooper Rush.
Rush.
Did I say Kupp?
Yeah, you
Cooper
said Cup.
Rush. I'm serious.
there's a lot of Coopers in the NFL.
Over the Bengals. Rush led the drive to give Brett Meyer the 50-yard field goal as time was expiring. Joe Burrows got the Bengals even at 17-17 the fourth quarter, throwing a 5-yard touchdown pass to T. Higgins and finding Tyler Boyd for a 2-point conversion. Cowboys sacked Burrows 6 times. Looking at the stats in the game, we got Joe Burrows, 24 for 36, 199 yards, 1 touchdown. Joe Mixon, 19 for 57 yards, and then leading wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins, 6
No.
carries.
We want to hear Jamar Chase's statistics.
Jamar
not hosting the
Chase,
show.
5 receptions for 52 yards, 0 touchdowns.
No, he didn't have that many receptions. So go ahead.
Cooper Rush, 19 for 31, 235 yards, 1 touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 15 carries for 53 yards. And then Noah Brown, 5 receptions for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. Marcus, I'll let you start this off. Who did you have in this one?
Take
Well,
your time.
obviously, I
Mark.
picked
Take
the,
your time, buddy.
I picked the Bengals. I figured, after Dak went down, the Cowboys season was over. But you got to admit, Cooper Rush and what's it got, Noah Brown, they were connecting.
Yeah.
I mean, regularly. I was like, who is this guy? I never even heard him before. But that appears to be Cooper's man. That would expect him to be the top wide receiver of the game. But the Bengals are in trouble. I think you say he was sacked 6 times. That's 11 sacks for Joe Burrows.
This
In 2
dropped
games.
13 between the last 2 games. He
Oh,
was sacked
13?
7. He was sacked 7 times in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay, 13. So that's 13 sacks. He's going to be like Andrew Luck and Lua. They got to do something. I thought they had improved that offensive line,
They
But there's
thought
no
they
way-
did too.
but there is no way you can keep.
They did. They got Lyle Collins, right?
And they added somebody else too, but
Yeah, they revamped it. They revamped the offensive
Trash.
line.
Well, revamp doesn't equal to improved. But also, I will say that might be a little bit on Joe Burrows. I heard the coach say they need to get more plays in there. He holds the ball too long. He needs to stop going for them really long passes. They start going for maybe a little bit shorter passes. 4 or 5 yards on the field. Some of that's offensive line, but some of that has to be him too. He can't take that many hits. It's just ridiculous. He won't last long. I thought this would be. I didn't think it was easy win. I thought the Bengals were going to win this game. But also Dallas defense. Micah Parsons. That dude is no joke. I gotta give you props. Micah Parsons is no joke. That dude is going to be the next Lawrence Taylor. He makes a big difference. Say what you want about Dallas, their defense is on point. As long as they got a defense, will probably keep them in a lot of games, no matter who the quarterback is. So, but I picked the Bengals, and I was wrong.
Yeah, I was with you, Marcus, on this on the Bengals. I just thought that when Burrows got that drive and led the team down for the tie, I was like, oh, we gonna go into overtime. I don't see it. But Cooper Rush put him in field goal range. Nice little drive. I think time management was excellent as far as the coaching staff did a great job with doing that towards the end of the game. They managed the time real well, and it got him a field goal, and he nailed it. So I didn't think the Cowboys.
You think
gonna
the
win this
Cowboys
one.
did a good job with time of possession?
Cowboys did a good job at the final
he's
win
saying
for time position.
time
yes.
management.
The Cowboys, you think they did?
Yes,
didn't.
I do. At the final drive, the last
Yeah,
drive.
I know. Yeah. Go ahead.
They didn't. I disagree with that.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. I mean, it was really they burned the timeout too soon.
But they got there and got the field goal and won the game.
Yeah, they did.
Okay. All right.
In spite of themselves.
I
It's
took the
fine,
Bengals.
because it was a lot longer field goal than it really should have been. But that,
Yeah.
I took the Bengals and I was wrong. Go ahead, Herman. What you got?
Yeah. So I mean, this was a good game. I expected it to be close. Didn't expect the Bengals to blow Dallas out or anything. But I did pick this wrong. I picked the Bengals. It's a blow when you lose your starting quarterback for any team. You know, Dallas, anybody, you lose your starting quarterback. It's just a problem. But, Cooper Rush has been in the system for a while. He knows the system. I think Mike McCarthy getting involved in the playbook and in the game plan this week showed. They still need to get the run game up a little bit more, I believe. And the game came down to a really one key play. It was I think it was 3rd and 4. The Bengals had the ball 3rd and 4 after they had tied it up. Dallas, I think, went 3 and out. But the Bengals had the ball 3rd and 4 at around the 20 or something like that. And he hit a little pass out to the receiver in the flat. And Trayvon Diggs came up and made the most solid tackle that you could make, textbook tackle, to stop him. And they had to punt. And then
you
Dallas,
saw Parsons, what he said.
What did he say?
He was like, Diggs made a tackle. Diggs made a tackle.
Right, because everybody talking like he ain't known for tackling, which he's not. But yeah, and now on Dallas's final drive, they had one timeout left. They had hit a pass, I think, down the middle, and they got up and they called their last timeout. But what they really should have did was they should have got up, got set, and ran a run play straight up the middle, get a little closer in, and then call that last timeout. But they called it, and then they had to go to a little pass and then hurry up. I mean, it could have been disastrous, but it wasn't. But I did pick the Bengals, and I got this one wrong.
You mentioned their rushing yards. Dallas had 107 rushing yards, right?
Yeah, but they only had 27 carries. I want to see, and that's split amongst. I mean, Zeke had 15, which I want to see him get maybe 5 more, and I want to see Pollard get about 5-6 more. So put Zeke at like 20.
And then they had the other guy that we just got. He ran a couple times too.
Yeah, he ran once. He only ran once.
It was only once.
Turpin, yeah.
Yeah. No, not Turpin.
That guy. He didn't rush.
I thought he.
They only
that's
had-
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
He
You're right.
didn't
He
They
did.
only have Elliott, Pollard, Lamb, and Cooper on there as rushing yards.
Yeah, Turpin had a little reverse. They got it down here on the rush yard, but yeah, I want to just see. I still want to see more run game. Keep those other offenses off the field. You got to give your defense a chance to rest a little bit more.
All right, Brian, what you got?
That's all you get. Yeah.
What? I get the whole song, don't I?
No, you get. Yeah, go ahead.
How about them Cowboys? All y'all haters, all y'all doubters, the season's over. Dak's done. All these memes in the group. Vince, yeah, you, all y'all. Mike, what's up, Mike? Where my popcorn? Where my Popeye chicken sandwich?
Right, where that chicken
Where my
sandwich
at,
at?
Michael? I ain't hear nothing from y'all since then. No, this was a really good game, though. And like Herman said, the Cowboys do need to be more balanced, and they need to get Zeke going. They got him somewhat, but we need to slow the game down, not put Cooper in as much problem, and let our defense lead this game. But the Cowboys, they ran 59 offensive plays, and they massed 337 yards, held time of possession. I'm sorry, actually, the Bengals held time of possession, 33 minutes and 48 seconds to the Cowboys, 26 minutes and 12 seconds. Mark mentioned it. The Cowboys sacked Burrow 6 times, and Cooper Rush did get sacked once. But that was the biggest thing, is like that game was really, for the most part, was in the Cowboys' hand. The first 2 drives, they went down, they scored touchdowns. They were up, I think it was 17-0 at one point in time. And the Cowboys was pretty much in control of the game. The offense all of a sudden started to sputter, these 3 and outs, and you can't let a team like the Bengals keep letting them in there and letting them in there. You got to put your foot on them. They came back, they got up, they tied the game. And then, of course, all Cowboys Nation is going crazy. But, we pulled it out. Thank you, Maher, for that leg that you got. We got a kicker. We're going to get a better running game. Don't be surprised if we win a few more games. We're looking at the schedule. We got the Giants coming up, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But I was a faithful one, nervous but faithful that the Cowboys will pull this one out, and we will. Hey man, don't start it so early, man. I wasn't done.
That's the cutoff music. That's the cutoff music. just like the Oscars.
Hey, can I keep it on for the rest of the show?
No.
Take it off.
Y'all are no fun.
Moving on to the next game.
Did I look good?
No.
No.
We got the Bucks taking on the Saints. This game was marred by the temper flares between the Bucks and the Saints. The Bucks won it 20 to 10, snapping the skids against the Saints. In this particular game, the Tom Brady was 18 for 34, 190 yards, 1 touchdown. Leonard Fournette, 24 rushes for 65 yards. Mike Evans, before he got ejected out of the game, was 3 receptions for 61 yards. The Saints. Jameis Winston, 25 for 40, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions.
Jameis be doing what Jameis do. Jameis be
Mark
Jameis.
Ingram Jr., 10 carries for 58 yards. And then their leading receiver was Michael Thomas, 6 catches for 65 yards and 1 touchdown. Herman, I'll let you start this off. Who you have in this one?
Yeah, I went with the trend and I picked the Saints because the Saints had pretty much owned the Bucks in previous games. But once the little melee fight happened, that was it, man. Tampa scored like 17 in the fourth quarter, and they just blew them out. And the Saints they're gonna need to get a running game going too. I'm sorry, but when you have certain quarterbacks that aren't those elite quarterbacks, you can't have Jameis Winston throwing 40 times. You just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, and it shows. He threw 3 picks. He was sacked 6 times.
He hurt his back.
He hurt his back, and I think he went into the game kind of hurt. So you just can't do that. Get a running game going. And I get it's hard to run against the Bucks, but this game was like 3-3 in the third quarter. If you're pounding the ball, that defense should have gotten worn out and ready to be set up, for that fourth quarter. But you didn't. Jameis 40 times is just not going to work. I picked the Saints. I got this one wrong.
Yeah, Herman, I was with you on this one. I took the Saints too. It was clearly looked like the Saints were in Tom Brady's head. He had been throwing tablets on the sidelines, abusing. Then he got
cursing. You saw the F word every other time.
Oh yeah.
He got to join with Marshawn Lattimore, and that just turned into all right scrimmage. I thought the Saints were going to do it. And it's like once you get Brady mad, man, it's like, man, he turned to a whole new different animal, man. They rallied around that, and it did help by them not having a top cornerback to cover him on that one side. So Brady took advantage of it and they won it. But I took the Saints on this one. Brian, who'd you have?
Yeah, I was with you guys. I had the Saints on this one as well. And I mean, like you guys were talking about, both teams were not efficient at all. Third down, Tampa Bay was 29%, New Orleans was 30%. The biggest thing, like that Herman brought up, it was the turnovers. They had 3 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries. And like Herman said, they sacked Jameis 6 times. You can't turn the ball over in these tight games like this. You have to keep the ball. That's the least that you need to do to stay competitive in this game. Tampa got most of their points off a turnover. I believe they got one on a pick 6. And then the last one, the touchdown, was because they were down inside the area where they didn't have to drive the whole field to score because of another pick by Jameson. So it was basically Winston's fault in this game. And then, again, you just saw the game just turn once that little melee happened and they kicked out Evans and they kicked out Marshawn. But I picked the Saints. I picked this one.
Marcus, you ran us out. What you got?
I also picked the Saints. I'm like Herman. I must say I caught up in the hype and how the Saints have owned Tampa Bay for the last couple of seasons. But the biggest surprise in this game is Tampa Bay's offense is looking anemic. They didn't score. They didn't even score until the third quarter, to the second half. For a Tom Brady led offense, that doesn't look great. And this is the second he didn't look great last week against the Cowboys either. They really need to get that together. I'm gonna go ahead and predict this is definitely going to be Brady's last year. He even looks old and worn out now.
You stretching that now? He don't.
No, he does. He does.
He doesn't really have any receivers.
True, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a Tom Brady led offense, and all the stuff you hear about what's going on at home, and I don't know. To me, he looks terrible. He looks.
I mean, he looks terrible, but he's still 2-0.
He looks a little frail.
He looks a little frail. Yeah, but they're not spectacular wins. But you can also make the case that he's winning against two great defenses the last 2 weeks.
That's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I picked the Saints, and I don't know why I would pick the Saints with Jameis as the quarterback. 3 picks. Like I said, Jameson doing Jameson. Yeah, but I picked the Saints, and I was wrong.
All right. So we're moving on to the next game, Sunday night game. We had the Chicago Bears taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Packers end up winning at 27-10. Stats in this one.
I say these next 3 games are going to be boring.
Justin Fields was 7 for 11 for 70 yards and 1 interception. David Montgomery, 15 carries for 122 yards. And Nemus St. Brown, two catches for 39 yards. He didn't do a good job throwing the ball at all. For Green Bay, I hit the wrong stat. Aaron Rodgers, 19 for 25, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, 15 carries for 134 yards. And Sammy Watkins, 3 catches for 93 yards. There was a Sammy Watkins appearance in this game. On this one, I'll go first. In this one, Aaron Jones made sure the Green Bay kept their promise with him getting the ball in this particular game, rushing 132 yards. He also caught a touchdown pass too. Green Bay was on point with this one, man. They pretty much dominated the game. I took Green Bay on this one. This game is the 7th straight game victory. The Packers over the Bears. They built a 24-7 lead by halftime, and they ended up stopping them late in the fourth quarter for a comeback. So I took the Packers on this one, and they were successful. Herman, who'd you have?
Yep, I picked this one right. I picked the Packers. As you can see, the Packers are definitely getting their running backs, more involved in the game, in the passing game and the rushing game. Like I said, Jones had 132 yards on 15 carries. So, I mean, we know it was just gonna be a matter of time before they figure things out in Green Bay. It's not gonna be easy this year for them, but you can just look at the number of receivers that Rodgers spread the ball around to, like 10 different receivers, 9 different receivers he threw the ball to. So that's what their game's going to be all year long. But I picked the Packers, and I got this one right.
Brian?
Yeah, I was with you guys. I picked the Packers also. And you know who owns the Bears? Aaron Rodgers still owns the Bears. Man, he had 66 plays for 414 yards. He was 55% on third down efficiency. Held his time as a possession 37 minutes and 15 seconds to 22 minutes and 45 seconds. This game was never in question. Aaron owns the Bears. Aaron will continue to own the Bears, and the Bears are in trouble. I picked the Packers, and I picked this one right.
And Marcus.
If there was a picture in the dictionary of someone who overreacted after week 1 in the NFL, my picture would be it. I don't know why in the world I would have picked the Bears over the Packers. I definitely picked wrong. Packers dominated this game the whole game. It wasn't even close. Like I said, classic case of overreaction after week 1. I won't be making that mistake again. I picked the Packers. I picked the Bears.
You,
and I was
you had forgot you picked the Packers, didn't you?
You mean I
in
picked
the
the Bears?
chat.
Yeah,
I mean,
forgot.
in the chat, didn't you forget?
Yeah, I think you did.
It won't happen again. That's all I got to say.
Way to wear the hat, Marcus.
His hat looked just as bad as mine did.
It's the green part. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it was two double-headed Monday night games. The first game we had was the Tennessee Titans taking on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills won 41-7. Josh Allen threw for 4 touchdown passes, including 3 to Stephon Diggs, and the Bills defense did the rest. Buffalo forced 4 turnovers, including a Matt Milano return for Tannehill's second interception for 43 yards. Bills opened the season with 2 consecutive routes. 2. I took the Bills, man. Ain't much more I can say about this one. They dominated totally. Marcus, who you have in this one?
It also took the Bills. Like I said, not much to say. They dominated. I'm very disappointed in the Titans. I predicted the Titans to finish very top. I think either 1 or 2 this year. It doesn't look like that. I also have Derrick Henry on my fantasy team, and he's killing me right now. So they need to hurry up and get together, especially in their run game. But I guess there wasn't much cause running this game because it was never they had to pass. But yeah, I picked the Bills, and I was right. Bills Mafia.
Brian?
Yeah, I was with you guys. There was no question that the Bills was going to win this game. I'll be honest with you. I did not think it was going to be this bad. Does anybody have the stats on what Derrick Henry had on this game? I know he had
Derrick Henry
touchdowns,
was
but I thought he had
13 carries for
yards.
25 yards.
Yeah,
one
okay.
touchdown.
I thought it was 25. I kept thinking between 25 and 35. That's crazy. That's crazy.
He averaged 1.9 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Bills, like y'all said, Mark, that Bills defense, 4 turnovers, 2 sacks, 2 NITs, 2 fumble recoveries. And then the Bills put up 313 total offensive yards. I don't know if they know this, but Stephon Diggs is their number 1 receiver. You might want to cover him. Might want to put somebody on him, do something.
I'm watching him on fantasy, and I got him on fantasy. I'm like, yeah, he's just murdering dudes out there at this point.
It was not even funny. The game was boring. It was boring, and I was hoping to get some excitement from the Eagles game, which we're about to talk about next, but we didn't get it from there either way. That game got so bad, they put the backup in to get some time. The quarterback that they just drafted just to get some reps because the game was just that terrible, man. The Titans are in trouble. They're in big trouble, Marcus. I thought they were going to do better than this too, at least be competitive, but they're bad. They lost to the Giants. I kind of mucked it up, week 1, but they're bad.
But real quick, speaking of fantasy, I had Josh Allen and Buffalo's Bill defense in fantasy.
Sheesh.
Had both.
You crushed on that one.
I did.
All right, Herman, ran us out. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, it was a clean sweep on this one. I picked the Bills. Bills look unstoppable right now. It's going to be interesting to watch them week in and week out. I got this one right.
All right. Excuse me 1 second here. Got to change my...
Wait, are you sure?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, he did.
You know what? This doesn't call for it, but I feel like I should do it.
All right. In this particular game, Vikings taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles won this game.
Wait. He didn't get his. You want your music or no?
Oh no, who?
Mark.
He's hosting. He's going last on a commentary, but he's hosting.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think this is the first time. Did we ever had a Long Wolf one with the dunce and the professor?
Marcus shouldn't have the hat on.
I shouldn't have it, but I'm aware it
Marcus
anyway.
is just wearing it because, be honest with you, me and Herman should put ours on too.
I'm aware it anyway, so that's why.
All right. In this game, the Hurts and the Eagles quarterback dominated 24-7 win over the Vikings. Hurts had 301 yard total yards in the first half. In this breakout game of pretty much of Hurts' career, he finished with 3 touchdowns. He made a lot of good plays in this particular game. The stats real quick. Jalen Hurts, 26 for 31, 303 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Miles Sanders, 17 carries for 80 yards. Dallas Goddard, 5 receptions for 82 yards. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins, 27 for 46.
Say that again, Mark. Say that again.
27 for 46. He threw 46 passes.
Way too much.
Only completed 27. 221 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Rushing, it's funny. He was a leading rusher too. 2 carries for 20 yards.
That's ridiculous.
And who's their running back, Mark?
Cook.
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook was 6 carries for 17
Killing
yards.
me.
They did nothing on offense.
And who's their wide receiver?
Justin
Justin
Jefferson.
And what did
6
he do?
carries for 46 yards.
Yeah,
Darius
killing me.
Slay had him slayed.
He caused a couple of those picks.
He sure did. I'll let you start it off, Brian. Who'd you have in this one?
Man, I'm disgusted to tell y'all that I actually had faith in Kirk Cousins on prime time. I don't know, like with Marcus with his, I don't know what I did. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was smoking. The first week kind of messed me up. But I didn't even look at the Eagle stats. I looked at how bad that the Vikings were. Man, he was 20, like Mark said, 27 or 46 for 221 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. They were 33% on third down, and he got sacked twice. It was a debacle. The Eagles look like game stoppers. It makes me a little nervous, to be honest with you. But I picked the dumb Vikings, and I picked it wrong.
Herman?
Yeah, I bought into that week 1 crap, and I believed in the Vikings, and we see what happened. The Eagles do look good. I gotta give them their credit. But yeah, I picked the Vikings. I got it wrong. There's not a lot to talk about in the game, like you said.
Yeah.
Marcus?
Yeah, I didn't loan wolf the game, but I'm waiting anyway because my dumb self, if anybody, picked Kirk Cousins. I don't know what I was thinking. Prime time too. Like I said, everyone's talking about Eagles dominate this game. Like I said, week 1 overreaction. I saw what he did to Green Bay, overreacted. Yeah.
He's like 2-9 in prime time.
Can I give him music?
Like that.
Can I give him music? Yes. There's no way. After reading this stat, Kirk Cousins is like 2-11 for Monday night games.
Damn, it's even worse.
He only won the last 2 Monday night games the last 2 years. He is terrible in prime time. There's no way I was picking Kirk Cousins in this Philly game in prime time. He has not shown me that he's mastered this prime time effort, especially on Monday nights. He was awful. I give Eagles a lot of credit though. They came out and they just dominated them from the beginning. They didn't make it easy for them. They shut down the running game. They forced them to pass, and they was picking them off. Darius Slay had an awesome game, shutting down Justin Jefferson. But can I say that the Vikings still have a lot of work to do with their young offensive coach and offensive coordinator. They still got a lot more work to do. But I took the Eagles, and I was successful.
That's all you get.
Thank you. Gosh.
All right. So how do y'all do for the week?
3 and
I
3.
did terrible. 2 and 4.
4 and 2 for me.
3 and 3.
All right, so we will get in. Can I wait this for the rest of the show?
No.
If I could put mine back on.
Y'all are
Yeah,
terrible.
that's how it was Monday night, Herman, for real.
Basically.
It was a sleeper for both games, to be honest with you. All right, so we will get into next week's picks. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. Both teams are 1-1. Cleveland is -5 on this particular game. I let Marcus go first. Who'd you got in this one, Marcus?
I'm gonna have to go ahead and pick the Steelers. The Browns are 0-2, and they just not looking too good. They've let a couple of
Browns are
games slide
1-1.
past them.
They
Who?
1-1.
The Browns are 1-1.
I just
Oh,
said
they were
1-1.
1-1?
Yeah, they won one. I just
They
said
won
it
the first
wrong.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm still picking the Steelers.
Remember, they beat Baker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It did be Baker. So, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Steelers. My outrageous prediction for this game, which I don't think is that outrageous, is Pickens will be playing in this game at some point. So I'm picking the Steelers.
Herman, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers too. Even though the Steelers don't have a quarterback, I just feel like they're a better team. Yeah, I'm going to stay on that all season long. You better believe it. I don't trust Trubisky at all, but I think Mike Tomlin, Omar Epps, he can control it. He'll coach a good game, and y'all will control the clock, and y'all will win this one. So give me the Steelers.
I'm gonna take this one. You got one of a terrible defense taking on a terrible offense. I'm gonna take the Browns in this one. I don't think the Steelers will win this one. Brian, who you got?
No, he's not, because I'm with Mark. I'm with the Browns as well. And actually, the nation is with the Browns. Cleveland's predicted to win 66% to 34% for the Steelers. Cleveland has the number one rushing offense. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Cleveland lost that game, but they should have won that game. That last touchdown that the running back for Cleveland scored, if he had not scored, they could have ran the clock out and won that game.
Yeah, one of those situations.
Yeah, they went up by 14, which is understandable, but they actually could have ran that clock out and won that game. So I picked Cleveland. I think the Browns get back on track. I'm not a fan. I don't think Trubisky's the one, and I don't know when Tomlin's going to pull that chain. But I think with that running game and without having T.J. Watt in there, I think that Cleveland will gut this one out.
All right, so that rounds off that one. The Sunday game we have the Las Vegas Raiders 0-2 taking on the Tennessee Titans 0-2. The Raiders are -1 in this particular game. I'll let Herman start this off. Who do you have in this one, Herman?
Yeah, so I'm going with the Raiders in this one. Basically, it comes down to I trust Derek Carr more than I trust
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, thank you. If the Titans refuse, or if it just shows now if you shut down the Titans' run game, they don't have a game. So stack that line, shut down Henry, and dare Tannehill to beat you. I'm going with the Raiders.
You take away the play action pass when you do that too, Herman.
Yep, I'm going with the Raiders.
Yeah, Herman, I think I'm with you. I'm taking the Raiders in this one, man. I think Derek Carr gets on track on this particular game. Tennessee's defense and secondary is not that great. I see him putting this offense together and getting a victory out of this one. I'm taking the Raiders. Brian, who you got?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think the Raiders are going to pull this one out, and the nation thinks the Raiders too. They're predicted 59% to 41% to win. The last time they played was actually December 7th of 2019. The Titans did win 42-21, but I think that Devontae Adams and Carr are getting a connection together. I still don't know what you're going to do when they're on the field with Waller. And the Raiders need to run the ball a little bit more. But I think the Raiders will pull this one together and get this done.
Marcus, ran us out. Who you got?
They definitely need to run the ball a little bit more because I got Josh Jacobs. So I definitely run a little more. I'm going to pick the Titans. I refuse to believe the Titans are going to go on 3. I favor the Titans too much in prediction for the season started. I need them to start living up to the hype. Plus, I also have Derrick Henry on my team, my fantasy team. So I got Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry on my fantasy. I need them both to have a really good game. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Titans. And this is more of a hope than it is a prediction.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna pick it.
This is like Kirk Cousins on Monday night.
All right. Next game we have Sunday is the 2-0 Philadelphia Eagles taking on the 1-1 Washington Commanders. The Eagles are favorite. The Eagles are giving up negative 4 points on this one. I'll let you start this one off, Brian. Who you got in this?
Man, the Eagles are predicted to win 60% to 40%. The Eagles have the number 2 rushing team. The Commanders actually have the second-ranked passing offense. The Eagles beat the Lions. The Commanders didn't. So I'm taking the Eagles.
I'm gonna go with you on that one too. I don't see the Commanders shutting down Jalen Hurts in that offense. I'm taking the Eagles in this one. Herman?
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles too. Divisional game. The Eagles just look like the better team right now. Washington's defense I don't know what's happened. It just doesn't exist at this point, you know. So I'm going with the Eagles.
And Marcus, who you got in this one?
I'm also going to pick the Eagles. Like Herman just said, I don't know what's going on with my defense. I think it might be competitive. Like Brian said, the number 2 passing offense. They look good on offense. They look terrible on defense. And after the performance that Hurts and Eagles just had, I don't see how we can be able to shut them down. So I might have to go ahead and pick the Eagles.
All right. Next Sunday game we got is the Houston Texans, 1-1, taking on the Bears, 1-1. The Bears -2 for it. I'm gonna start this one off. They playing in Chicago. I take the Bears. They bounce back, get a win out of this one. Brian, who you got?
Man, you're on a point, Mark, because the world is picking the Bears 54% to 46% to beat the Texans. Last time they played was December 12th of 2020. The Bears won 36-7. I like the way the Texans have been playing. I think they're gritty. I think they're a spunky little team. I think the defense was playing pretty well. I don't like the way the Bears are on offense. I think they still got a long road to go. I'm going to probably lone wolf this one, but I'm going to take the Texans.
Marcus, who you got?
Yeah, you're not lone wolfing. I'm also going to take the Texans. Their last 2 games have been really – I mean, one was a tie and the other one was the loss to the Broncos was very close.
Yeah,
I've been surprised by how well the Texans have been playing. Miles Davis actually looks pretty decent. The defense looks pretty good, and so I'm going to go ahead and go to Texans.
It's Davis
David,
Mills.
Davis
what did I say?
I was like, I said Miles Davis. I said, isn't that the running back?
Davis Mills. I don't know. Davis Mills. That's what I meant.
But yeah, hey, Marcus, just real quick though, when they were playing the Broncos, man, they made Russell look bad.
They did. Made him look terrible.
I mean, he ended up getting together, but they look bad.
Go ahead, Herman. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going with the Bears, Mark. I'm with you. I don't care. The Texans are trash. Davis Mills, Miles Davis, doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going with the Bears. They're going to Soldier Stadium, Soldier Field, playing in Chicago, Windy City. Give me the Bears.
All right.
I ain't pay. Y'all see, I forgot to change the banner. Y'all let them had that whole the old banner up the whole time we've been doing picks. Y'all supposed to come on.
Yeah, that's something that we say.
You got to talk to the producer about that one. All right. The next game we got, Sunday night game, the San Francisco 49ers, 1-1 with the new quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, starting, taking on at the Denver Broncos, who also are 1-1. You don't have a point spread on that one, Brian. I'll let you start that one off. Who you got in that one, Brian?
I'm sorry about not having a point spread, but the Broncos are predicted 52% to win over the Niners. You hear that, Vince? The Niners are actually 4th in rushing offense, and the Broncos' defense is 10th overall. Because it's Mile High and it's at home, I think that Russell and them start to get it together, because they're talking about Hackett as like the worst head coach in the NFL right now. So he needs to be smarter. Give me the Broncos.
Herman, who you got?
Interesting. I thought I was going to lone wolf this one, but I guess I'm not. I'm rolling with the Broncos too, Brian. They're home. Got the home field. I think they're going to figure out things, get things together. One key thing to this is going to be the fact that now that the 49ers have Jimmy G back in, guess what? The Broncos have film to look at now. They can kind of know what to expect from this offense with Jimmy G. There's plenty of film. There wasn't a lot of film with Trey Lance, but there's plenty of film with Jimmy G. So give me the Broncos at home.
Marcus, who you got in this one?
I'm going to pick the 49ers. I like Brian just said, Broncos head coach, he's been terrible. He's been terrible these last 2 games. I don't have any faith in him. I'm going with the 49ers. Jimmy G is back. I actually think they have a better chance of winning with Jimmy G than they do Trey Lance.
I agree with that.
History shows that's true.
Yeah, history shows that's true. They've definitely won way more games with Jimmy G than they haven't. I'm going with the 49ers.
Marcus, I thought maybe I'll be long within this, or you be long within this one. I'm going to take the 49ers in this one. Looking
Really?
at what the Seattle did with this offense with the Broncos, I think Jimmy can do the same thing. I'm taking the 49ers on this one. I think the 49ers will win this.
Last 2 games, we done split.
The last game we got is the Monday Nighter between the 1-1 Cooper Rush-led Cowboys taking on the 2-0 Giants. The Giants 2.5 points on this one. I'm going to start this one off. Give me the G-Men to go 3-0 in the division. I'm taking the G-Men on this one, though. Marcus?
I think it's going to be a very good game. It's going to be close, but I'm also going to take the Giants. Giants, just to me, are looking pretty good right now. I think they go 3-0 as well. I'm going to take the Giants.
Brian, who you got on this one?
Well, the last time that they played was December 18th of 2021. The Cowboys won 21-6. Giants are predicted to win this game 55% to 45%. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a good game. They're fairly matched when it comes to the players and the teams. It's hard to think. It's going to come to turnovers and it's going to come to mistakes. I think the Giants squeak this one out. I'm going to pick the Giants.
And Herman, who you got?
Chew it up, baby. Oh. The Giants are smoke and mirrors. Plain and simple. Dallas will go into New York and whoop the Giants.
Now
Give
he
me
wants
my
to edit himself.
Give me my Cowboys. The Cowboys defense, Daniel Jones is we about to feast, baby. Michael Parsons is about to feast.
I do agree with that.
I'm not worried about the Giants receivers. We shut down one of the best dual receivers in the game last week with a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. We'll slow down that Saquon running game. I'm not worried about him either. He's fast. He's a hard, powerful runner. We will be on top of that. Dallas will come away with this victory. 2-0 in the Cooper Rush era.
All right, we shall see. We shall see. So that pretty much completes our show. The last thing we're going to talk about is the final thoughts. I guess I'll start this one off. I just want to send out a prayers and speedy recovery for my son's football team quarterback who got injured last week, Jaden Jackson. Man, I wish you a speedy recovery and come back soon. We're still waiting on hear final words on his knee injury, but we're gonna go strong for you, Jaden. Love you, man. We see you soon. Herman, final thoughts?
Yeah. My final thoughts are, I'm gonna keep going back to this. Billion-dollar conglomerate company that doesn't use technology like it should has the most competitive sport in the world and allows it to end in a tie. NFL, when are you going to get your heads out of your bleed and do something about this? That's my final thought.
Brian, final thoughts.
Yeah, my final thought is totally against what Herman just said. NFL, you're doing a great job. You're the number one thing for a reason. We don't need as much technology as everybody wants to throw into the game. Y'all might as well start playing with robots the way y'all want this game to be. There needs to be a human element. There needs to be mistakes. There needs to be issues with the game. We were having a big conversation about y'all trying to put chips in the ball to see where the ball was because on a goal line play, what game was that?
It was a Chicago game.
The Chicago game. They couldn't see where the ball was, so they couldn't overturn the play. Yeah, more than likely he was in there, but you couldn't see the ball. So therefore, it is not a touchdown. Let the game be. There's nothing wrong with ties, except they got it fixed because it's in the playoffs. You continue and you play on. But y'all keep thinking that these games ending in ties are just saving lives and saving players. Let's keep doing what we do.
It's not saving players or lives.
It is. Somebody could die in overtime.
You could do field goal kicks, as far as I'm concerned, just as long as nothing ends in a tie.
I agree with
That's
that too.
not the game.
You know,
Now you're changing the game.
Hey, Herman, that's cool. You can have a field goal kickoff.
No,
Yeah,
that is
they-
not
I
football.
agree.
That's
Hey,
not football.
Hey, Herman,
It is football.
That is not football.
Whoever makes
That
it,
is
you go
one
further and further
element
back.
of football.
The first one that
Yeah, exactly. You start like at 25.
No,
and you
hey,
keep
Hey,
going.
hey,
nobody get hurt.
we late. We need to end the show because y'all talk crazy talk.
So that will work. That's a good one.
That's
Yeah,
the
you start at
worst idea
25 and then
ever.
you kicking
Yeah.
all day kicks and keep moving back.
Exactly. Marcus, lead us, take us out of here, Marcus.
So my final thought is going to be inspirational quote. It's never
You know what,
too late.
y'all know though, real quick before you say that, Marcus. So basically, the Ravens will win every overtime game because they have the best.
They probably
yeah.
would.
But it would.
It's a reason why they. It's a reason why
That's
they pay.
competitive. That's competitive.
It's not
Yes.
their fault that other people don't invest in their kickers.
Yeah.
Not their
He's
fault.
a one in the like generation type kicker. He's ridiculous.
I'm sure you could find something out there that could be that clutch. I bet people would pay more attention to their kicker game.
Yeah, but they would.
Yeah, you be paying your kicker more than your starting quarterback.
Hey, if it wins games, it wins games.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Marcus. Go ahead.
So my final thought is going to be an inspirational quote. It's never too late to be what you might have been. That's all I got for today.
You're as bad as Herman with this crap.
I
What are
like
y'all
that quote.
doing?
I like that quote.
Yeah, well, put it up in Facebook. Don't be saying it on the football show.
Before we get out of here, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're watching on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Lev Game. We're also on Twitter at the Lev Game 3 and on Instagram at the official delay of game. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace. We out.
Peace.
Ooh, you know what?
I'm still alive.
We not out?
I know.
No.
I forgot the outro video this week. My bad. There will be no outro video this week. Peace. We out.